And we are live. Welcome back. We are back in the flesh. Welcome to the two-man front. I know you guys missed our ugly faces, so get ready to see our ugly faces even more as we are about turning that corner. We're kind of in a dead period right now. We're turning that corner into football season. We got some good things coming for you guys, good content coming for you guys this summer. But let's start off with today. Again, welcome to the two-man front. I'm your boy, Be Easy from Be Easy Sports. This is my boy, The Fog, from Objectively Biased Sports. We got a packed show for you guys today. Of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel, wherever you watch on YouTube, and subscribe to our channels, Be Easy Sports, and of course, Objectively Biased Sports on Facebook. And like always, leave your comments below. The show is much more fun when you guys are engaging with us. We will read your comments on the air. So please leave your comments below. Before we begin, Fog, what's going on, man? How you been?
Listen, speak for yourself. This sexy face is this. I've been doing good. I'm watching OKC do what I thought they were going to do at the start of the playoffs. So I'm enjoying the potential money that I'm going to make off of the OKC bet.
It almost seems like an OKC, like, I don't want to say OKC invitational because they're not winning all the time, but it almost seems like it's their championship to lose. It really does. Yeah. The Nuggets were their biggest challenge. I honestly believe that they were going to win in 5 games against Minnesota. Now they might just damn near sweep them.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know if Minnesota's ready for this. And
well, that third quarter run last night that SGA started, where I think it was like a 4 or 5 point game, and then in the blink of an eye, they were down by 22. It was like 92-71. I was like, holy shit, what happened? It just OKC, that offense and the way they can score is just ridiculous. And Minnesota had no answer at all for them.
Yeah, I think that that series is over. Honestly, I think Minnesota gets 1. They'll get 1. My prediction will be right. I said 5 games. I felt like Denver was their toughest competition. I felt like Minnesota really hasn't been challenged this playoffs. I mean, they beat an old Lakers team, a 40-year-old LeBron who apparently was hurt. Luka just got there, so there wasn't a lot of continuity there. Steph, I honestly wholeheartedly believe the Warriors win that series with a healthy Steph, because they were still in some games against Minnesota without Steph. They have Steph who can tack on another 25-30. They probably win that series in maybe 6-7 games. Minnesota just wasn't challenged. It's starting to show now. And man, OKC's defense is the real deal. That defense it's the real deal. It really is. But let's get in to our first official topic. Speaking of something that can't be stopped, the Tush push. Now, it's obviously already come out that they needed 24 votes to ban it. They only got 22, which tells me that this is probably the last year the Tush push will be in the NFL. They're going to get rid of it next year. They'll need 2 more teams. And it's only going to take 1 team of those teams that voted yes or no, whatever, to not ban it. So it's going to take one of those teams to say, nah, F that. We lost to it. Ban it. Right?
If Philadelphia wins the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, I'm banning it. If Philly wins the Super Bowl again, they're banning it. It's over.
Yeah, it's over.
But I'm talking to a Philly fan here, so I don't know if I should even ask you this question, but I'll ask you anyway. But before I do that, I want to thank the more than almost 500 people who voted. So I asked this question on BZ Sports, and I'll share the screen real quick. And it got a lot of traction. It got a lot of traction in terms of the voting. A lot of votes. So more than 450 of you, 474 to be exact. Should the Tush push be banned from the NFL? I'm actually surprised it was this lopsided. 71% of you said no, 22% said yes, 7% of you are indifferent. Fog, where do you fall in this list?
I voted no.
Oh, there you are. Look, here it is.
There.
There it is right there. No. Why is that?
I voted no because I don't think it's. Here's the thing. I don't think it's if you're going to put a ban on that, then you have to put a ban on running backs that, if they get held up at a goal line, all of a sudden offensive linemen and players start pushing the running back into the end zone or trying to get extra yardage on first down plays. We've seen this happen before, and it's happened throughout the history of the NFL. We just never seen it happen in a fashion that it's happening the way Philadelphia is using it and their approach. And so now teams are upset, or organizations are upset because, hey, well, it's not fair. We can't stop it. Or they're trying to use injury or potential injury, because no one's really gotten
hurt.
Injured at all. So it's like, oh, we can't stop it, so we have to find a way to cut it. If we can't stop it on the field, then we got to find a way to stop it off the field. And this is the approach to stop it all. Let's ban it because we can't stop it. Because there's all the reasonings that the teams are putting in there. It's like, well, it's not logical. So if it's not logical and you can't stop it, I'm surprised that it hasn't been banned already with how petty organizations can be. I'm surprised it hasn't been banned. So the fact that we're still seeing a situation like you just said where we're teetering right now, it just shows that the teams that are voting against it and saying that it should be banned are teams that can't execute it, can't stop it, or probably, quite frankly, teams that have lost to Philadelphia or suck and can't win at anything anyway.
I honestly, I said this yesterday. I'm not so upset that it's not banned, because honestly, whatever. It's a football play. It's not rugby. It's a football play. It's a QB sneak. It's a glorified QB sneak that the Philadelphia Eagles have perfected, right?
Yeah.
And they just have the personnel for it, and they just know how to do it. It's their thing, right? They have the timing down. Everything's cool. But for me, it's more so the fact that there's a little bit of an injustice there, because offensive players can push, great, but defensive players can't. So basically what's happening here is, even if you just let Jalen Hurts just do it, right? Because you can't push your guys over. It doesn't even matter. You either let him do it or you don't do it. Or you risk a penalty if you push your defensive end or defensive tackle into the center or into the literally they'll throw the flag if that happens. I just care more about the injustice of the whole idea of defensive players are not able to push other defensive players over the line, but Saquon Barkley and Dallas Goedert, or whoever your tight end is able to push their 250-pound quarterback over the line. But it's that to me is the annoyance of this. It's not the fact that it's not banned. It's not the fact that it works effectively, because it is a football play. Just make it equal. Let me push my D tackle into your center, right? I said this yesterday on the show on Drew's show last night. I said, it's interesting that on field goals, the center is completely protected. You can't even line up over him. Like, you can't be touched. You can't jump over him. You can't be lined up over him. But I told Drew and the other guy, and Lewis, I believe his name is, I said, yo, do you know how many field goals would be blocked if the defense was actually able to push, push through? So many field goals will be blocked through the middle.
Yeah.
So it's just an unfair advantage the offense has. And again, it's more so the NFL protecting offenses, wanting offense to stay on the field, more points, more possessions. It's just one of those things where, okay, it's so blatantly obvious that, once again, NFL is hindering defenses from doing their job and helping offenses to do theirs. That's my only issue. Banning it, I don't care. I mean, banning it would be. I would have been okay with. I would have been indifferent, right? I would have been indifferent in this poll, right? Because like it doesn't matter if you ban it. I think it's kind of cheap. I mean, are you gonna ban all QB sneaks?
Yeah,
right? You know what I mean? Like, or if you don't ban it, okay, cool. Make sure, but let the defensive players push their guys too, so it's more equal. I don't know. I thought the whole thing was just done. But like we said, I think this is going to be out by next year because it's going to get 2 more votes. It's going to get 24. No, I got 22.
22, I think.
Votes. It needed 24. It needed to do 2 more teams to do it. So like it's going to be gone. If not next year, then definitely the year next. Some other things came out of the owners' meeting down there in Tampa. USA flag football is going to be a part of the NFL. I'm sorry, part of the Olympics, right? So, and there's a little bit of discussion with this, right? So this guy right here, you're looking at on your screen. This guy's name is Daryl Hausch Doucette, and he apparently is like the greatest flag football player of all time. I don't know. I'm assuming it's a little tongue in cheek there, but apparently he's really good. Apparently this is his thing. Flag football is his thing, and he had some comments that were made after the announcement came out when NFL players were able to play. He said, I think it's disrespectful that they just automatically assume that they're able to join an Olympic team because of the person that they are. They didn't help to grow this game. I don't really know what he's talking about. I'm not really sure what he means by that. But Paul, I want to get your opinion. Thoughts on NFL players being allowed to participate in the 2028 Olympics?
I don't think it's a problem. I don't understand what he's getting at. Flag football is there because of real football.
That's what I
like. I don't understand. Flag football is there for people like us who didn't make the NFL. So for people like what's his name, Doucette or what?
Darnell Doucette. Oh, Daryl.
Like, Darrell. For people like him who apparently couldn't make the NFL either. So, like, I think it's fine. I think it'll bring a notoriety, and quite frankly, it could bring a more global market for the NFL in general, which is something that they're trying to do. So that this could actually be huge. I think the only drawback would be injuries. I think that'd be the only drawback that I have, but I think it's perfectly fine. I mean, NBA players, will play extended periods of time to go play in the Olympics. So I don't see a problem with it at all. I honestly don't think you'll see a lot of NFL players going in there, because I think there's going to be a lot of NFL players that, I beat my body up enough.
Yeah.
I'm taking the time off.
Taking the time off. Yeah. Yeah. I thought about that as well as I was like thinking about this more and more. First of all, here's the thing. I think there's like this misconception that like Lamar Jackson and Mahomes or Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson, those guys aren't doing it. I highly doubt those guys are doing it. First, and another thing is this is in 2028. This is not next year where the guys are going to be too young. Okay. like Lamar's going to be in his 30s. Mahomes is going to be in his 30s. Justin Jefferson is going to be close pushing 30 probably, right? The guys that people are thinking right now that are going to be doing it are going to be not old, but they're going to be older. And like you said, they're going to want to protect their bodies. And it's right before training camp. It's like literally, I think it like maybe bleeds into training camp a little bit, right? So I highly doubt this.
Half these guys don't want to go to training camp. What the fuck you think?
I think some B-level players are gonna do it. Like I don't know who those guys are gonna be, but some B-level young guys are gonna do it. Maybe for some extra notoriety, maybe to get some tape. I don't know. But I don't think that I don't think many like notable guys are gonna do it. It's interesting though. I saw a post somewhere. I should have took a screenshot of it and I should have put it on here. Somebody had like a picture of like 5 or 6 Canadian football players, all NFL guys. And like, they were pretty notable guys. I wish I could find it, but like, I think we were forgetting that. Like, I think we're forgetting that some guys who play in the NFL are not just American born, right? They're not, they can play for other countries. So it's like, so if a team of like Polynesians, right, wanted to put together a team and play for their country, for Fiji or New Zealand or whatever it may be, they can do that. They don't have to play for the United States. So like, I think we're going to win. But I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that we're going to blow everybody out of the water. I just don't think that's going to be a foregone conclusion that we're going to blow teams out of the water because we have NFL talent, which I get, it makes sense, but I don't see a lot of, like you say, Paul, I don't see a lot of people, a lot of like A-list players doing this. I just don't.
Yeah, you might see a couple come out. Yeah, you might see some in 2028 just for shits and giggles to see if they can do it and see if they could go actually win a gold medal doing something. But again, I don't see this being the way an event in the same fashion it was for the NBA with NBA players.
No, me either.
I don't see that happening because the NFL just isn't that global.
Right. It's not that global, but I do think that I think flag football is pretty global in a way. But I do think you're gonna get everyone's best shot. That's what I think. I think teams are gonna put together their best players to come play us, and we may get a sprinkle of NFL guys.
I think if we get our asses kicked, if we don't have any major, big players going in, and we go into the Olympics, and again, football, regardless, flag or not, it's going to be synonymous with the NFL. And America, we go in there and we don't place, we don't get a medal or anything.
Oh my God.
Then you might see NFL players go.
That would be, honestly, if we do this, or if the NFL does this, or if the American players play and we don't win or place or medal, whatever you want to call it, that may be the biggest catastrophe in, honestly, maybe of all time, as far as medals go. That may be one of the biggest catastrophes we've ever seen if the United States does not medal in flag football. Like, that would be insane. Like, that would be, but honestly, I think we're gonna get some college guys. I think we'll get a list of maybe B or C list players. But I don't think you're not gonna get the A list guys. I just don't see an all-star team. Like, you're not gonna get the Pro Bowl. You're not getting that many players. You're not getting Pro Bowl players out there. There's just no way those guys are doing it. Not much. Let's go ahead and move on though. Move on real quick. Brock Purdy's new deal. Brock Purdy got some new money, man. You got some new money. Let me look up the number real quick. Brock Purdy's deal. I want to say $56 million per. I want to say $56 million per year. I think that kind of puts him in the top 10 of money per year. And Brock Purdy. It was 5 years, $265 million. That puts him about $56 million per and 185 million guaranteed. Fog, Mr. Irrelevant, is no longer irrelevant anymore. What are your thoughts on this deal? Good, bad, or even stupid?
God, it's man. It's not good, bad, or stupid. It's the way it is. It's the way the market is.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. They kind of put themselves in this position because they whiffed on Trey Lance.
Yep. That's what Drew said yesterday.
That's the big issue right now. They whiffed on Trey Lance. They thought they had somebody. They built that team. And they had a solid core of players that they put around for their quarterback. Unfortunately, their quarterback wasn't Trey Lance. It was Brock Purdy.
Yep.
And this was the end result. So now you're in a situation where you weren't, over the course of the last 3 years, 4 years, you weren't shitty enough to be in a bad situation to get another young quarterback. but you weren't good enough to be a Super Bowl contender. You were good enough to make the playoffs. You were good enough to be a competitive playoff team, but you weren't good enough, especially at the quarterback position, to be a Super Bowl contender. And now you're in a situation where, well, we either pay a guy who he's still good enough to get us to the playoffs, or we just piss it all away. And unfortunately, right now, they had to pay the guy.
Yeah, I think it's a good deal for Brock, obviously. But like you said, this is just what it is. This is the market. This is what the market called for, right? He didn't break the bank, right? He didn't break. I think I read some articles where he was looking, him and his agent were looking for $65 million per. And I'm so happy that that John Lynch did not go for that crap, because that would have been a stupid deal, giving him $65 million per. But all it really does, honestly, I think it really does. All I think it does is add pressure on the 49ers. I think the 49ers have to make sure that they are continuing to build around Brock Purdy, right? And it adds more pressure now with a little less money to build around Brock Purdy. Because look, last year, I think we saw Brock Purdy's, not the best of Brock Purdy, but I think we saw his ceiling. I don't think he's getting better. Like, I don't think Brock Purdy is going to get any better than what he was last year. I think his ceiling has been hit, right? I think he's been rewarded for what he's done in the past. Obviously, got his team to the Super Bowl. Good for him. You know, he's put some good numbers up. You know, call him a game manager or not, whatever. They're all, most quarterbacks are game managers. I hate that term anyway. But he's done what he's had to do with what was put around him. And now what the 49ers have to do is rebuild that. Because I think if they don't put what was around him previously before he got paid, you're looking at a quarterback that's making a lot of money, but it's going to be pretty damn average, right? Average to good, right? So look, here's the thing. I said this in the show on Drew's show yesterday. Brock Purdy on any given Sunday is a top 10 to 15 quarterback, right? And that's all you really need to win. That's all you need. You need a top 10 to 15 quarterback to win the NFL. So I think they got their top 15 guy. Like that's who they got. Top 10 to 15 guy. But I think it's a good deal for Brock. I don't think it's a stupid deal or a bad deal, but I do think it puts pressure on the Niners to make sure they put more around him, to make sure they can elevate him to his max potential, which I already think has been reached at this point.
No, I agree with you. I agree 100% with you on that.
Yeah, so I think it's a not a stupid deal, but I think it's a good deal for Brock. But I think it puts a lot of pressure on the Niners, definitely.
But again, this is a team that I don't think they're good. I think they're struggling right now.
They are struggling.
They had to do something right now, because you lose the quarterback, you don't have anybody else there to go into.
Yeah. I think it's a good deal. I think Brock had leverage. Brock definitely had leverage in this deal, because obviously he saw the team falling apart around him, and he's like, okay, well, you want to lose me too, and you put in whoever is behind me, or do you want to at least have me there to build around me, so you know at least at that position you're set. Everywhere else, I'm not really sure, but at least at the quarterback position, you're set for the next 5 years, right? So that's what Brock Purdy's leverage was. So I think it was a good deal. I think it puts him like around like top 5, top 6 for AV average per year. I believe so. It does. So average annual per year. So I think that's fair. I think that's fair for Brock Purdy. All right. Now another quarterback is going to get paid very soon in Jayden Daniels and his Washington Commanders. As we all know, these Washington Commanders came out of nowhere last year, made it all the way to the NFC title game, only to lose to Fogg's Eagles. Fogg last year, the Commanders were the team that no one saw coming. The year before that, the Houston Texans with CJ Stroud were the team that nobody saw coming. Who is the 2025 version of those two teams? Who is the 2025 version of the Washington Commanders?
It's going to come from either. Fuck it. I'm going to roll the dice here. I'm gonna say it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Nobody's going to see Tampa Bay coming this year. And I know I get it.
Last year, didn't they?
Yeah, they made the playoffs. Is anybody going to talk about Tampa Bay making the playoffs again this year? Everyone's going to look at they're going to look at the NFC South as a joke. And I think the NFC South is going to come out stronger than people think. I think Tampa Bay is a team. I think the Carolina Panthers are a team. And with Dave Canales and what a healthy Bryce Young is going to be able to potentially do with what they're doing there, I think that the NFC South is going to have a team come out there that you're going to be like, oh shit, is this team? Can this team, and not just come out and be the Washington Commanders or the Texans from a sense that, oh wow, they made the playoffs. No, the Commanders and the Texans actually made runs to make it look like, wow, these guys could be potential Super Bowl contenders. Tampa Bay didn't look like a Super Bowl contender last year.
No.
But they can this year. And I tell you what, the Carolina Panthers can really shock people and put themselves in a position, in my opinion, by just making the playoffs and winning that division where it's like, whoa, okay, they have another good offseason. This team may be a very competitive team.
Man, that's crazy. That is so crazy. You mentioned that's so crazy. You mentioned the Panthers because that's gonna be my team. I was gonna be the team I was gonna choose. I think Carolina, like you said, I do believe another year under David Canales' system. I do believe Carolina could make a run in that division. That division is horrible. Now, honestly, the Carolina Panthers, my God, were the worst defense in the NFL last year. Like by number wise, they were awful. Like so, they have to strengthen that up, right? But I think that we're gonna see this is Bryce Young's third year. This is year 3 for Bryce Young, and he came on strong the last 10 games last year. Came on pretty strong. He looked like the kid we saw at Alabama, Mater Dei, the whole 9, right? Another year under David Canales. That's going to be my team. I think the Carolina Panthers are a team that we're going to say, oh, didn't see this coming. Another team that I believe, and it's kind of a segue to the next topic, that I believe that can come out of nowhere is a team that's in another crappy division. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars can make some noise this year. I think Jacksonville with Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter, Travis Etienne, Trevor Lawrence, defensively, they weren't solid. They were actually one ranking above Carolina last year in total defense. They were 34th. Carolina was 32. But I think Liam Combs working with Trevor Lawrence. And look, this is I'm kind of giving away my own answer for this next question that I'm going to give you, and maybe you have a different answer. Look, man. At some point, Trevor Lawrence, he needs to show that he needs to show us that he's either a franchise quarterback, right? Or he's just a Derek Carr, right? That's who he may be. Like Derek Carr had a couple good years in Oakland, and then he gets shipped to New Orleans, and he maybe has one good year in New Orleans, and that's it. He retires. Like Trevor Lawrence, this is it for him. Because honestly, at the end of the day, Liam Combs didn't draft this guy, and honestly, I know I'm kind of good off topic. I don't want this to become a Trevor Lawrence topic, but Trevor Lawrence almost got traded to Pittsburgh, and we wanted him really bad. And I was like, I would love Trevor Lawrence in Pittsburgh, right? He's a top 10 to 15 quarterback. That's all you need to win. I don't need a franchise or a number one guy. I need a top 10 to 15 quarterback with our defense and a run game. And look, I'm surprised that they didn't do it because, at this point, you would think they want to just reset, get rid of the Urban Meyer stench, get rid of all that stuff. That was Urban Meyer's guy. He drafted him. You would think Liam Cohn wanted to maybe reset, maybe use Mac Jones as a bridge quarterback as he finds his new guy in the draft next year, possibly, but they didn't do it. They clearly still believe in Trevor Lawrence, and they clearly believe that whatever Liam Cohn did for Baker Mayfield last year, he's going to be able to do for Trevor Lawrence. So those are my two teams. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars and, like you said, the Carolina Panthers are the two teams that I think that, they could come out of nowhere and shock us all with a pretty good season.
I like that Jacksonville pick. I do.
They're going to be a fun team to watch this year. They're going to be fun. With Travis there, they're going to be a lot of fun to watch. I'm looking forward to watching them. All right, rapid fire questions. A little bit of factor cap. Rapid fire, and we kind of just went over this one. Fog. Trevor Lawrence has more pressure than Caleb Williams this year. This is a poll of mine as well. Let me pull it up real quick. This is a poll of mine as well. Who has more pressure?
Personally, I think Trevor Lawrence has more pressure because, everything you just alluded to, it's go time. You are either that quarterback that was supposedly quote unquote a generational quarterback, or it's a wrap for you. Me personally, I feel it's a wrap for him. I think the court of public opinion may very well, and that's interesting that it's that close. I'm shocked that Trevor Lawrence.
I was shocked that it was that close too. I really was. I really was. I was surprised
because I thought Caleb Williams would get more of the heat because of his draft selection, because recent memory, and because of Ben Johnson going over there, and them you've seen just in the offseason what they've done for that team offensively. I'm shocked that it wasn't a landslide for Caleb Williams, because I think the court of public opinion and sports media is going to be looking. There's going to be a microscope under Caleb Williams far more than there's going to be this year on Trevor Lawrence. But I do believe that Trevor Lawrence is the guy that has more pressure to succeed, because this is year 5 for him.
Yeah, about year 5. Yeah.
Yeah. So me personally, I think what you've seen from Trevor Lawrence is what you've seen. You're not going to get anything better. I think you hit the nail on the head. His ceiling at this point is Derek Carr.
So you think he's hit a ceiling already?
Oh, I think he has. I think his ceiling is Derek Carr, where he may be able to have another good, top 10 statistical run or two.
Yeah.
But you're not. This is not a generational quarterback. This is a guy that you could win a Super Bowl with.
You could. Yeah.
You're going to have to put the proper pieces around him in order for you to get there. He's not going to be the guy. He's not going to be the generational talent that Patrick Mahomes is. No. He's not going to be that guy. You don't have that type of quarterback there. But the pressure right now, like you said, is, are you going to look like you did last year, or are you going to look like you did 2 seasons ago when you actually had top 10 stats?
Yeah. Caleb Williams came out last year with a lot of hype. And honestly, what's interesting about Caleb Williams, and the reason why I think this is so close is because Caleb Williams went to a team that seemed to be pretty damn good, right? There was talent there. They had the receivers, they had the running back. They didn't have the line, so they fixed that up a little bit. They had the defense. I think the only thing that was holding them back was that horrid coaching staff that they got rid of, which I have no clue for the life of me why they ran it back with Eberflus. I have no idea why they would do that, and Sean Waldron. So they got rid of them. I do think it's Trevor Lawrence because, like you said, he is more into his career. I remember when Trevor Lawrence was coming out, we were talking. I think we were doing a show, and we were saying, like, what's his ceiling? I said, at least, I don't know if you agreed or not, I said his ceiling was Peyton Manning, right? Which seems idiotic now.
It was idiotic then. But hey, I said Josh Allen was going to be a bust, so hey, we're even, Brian.
Look, Josh Allen came out of nowhere. Like I feel like Josh Allen's like superstardom is a little more surprising than what the hell Trevor Lawrence is doing, right? But and I said Trevor Lawrence, his floor was like Matt Ryan. So now I'm thinking, now I think his ceiling is Matt Ryan and his floor is like Derek Carr, right? I mean, that's probably more realistic because I still think the guy can play. I really do. I truly think the guy can still play. He's just had some bad injuries, not great coaching. And we'll see. This is it. This is his third coach. This is his third coach. Like, I mean, this is it for him, man. Like, you're right. I think the pressure's on him. You're right. All right, moving on to the next one. Some college football, real quick. Colorado will make the postseason 12-team playoff this year.
No.
I want to say yes so bad. I really did, but I'm going to say no too. I'm going to say no.
Look at all the personnel they lost.
They lost a lot of guys. You lose your best player. You lose the Heisman Trophy winner. You're not making the playoffs. Yeah, I think that's a no too. That's a no. All right. Now, next one. Marvin Harrison Jr. will have more TD receptions than Malik Nabers.
No.
No?
No. No.
I'm going to say fact. I'm going to say fact.
Because I think Malik Nabers is going to have the better quarterback.
Oh. You think Russell Wilson and potentially Jameis Winston are better than Kyler Murray?
Yeah, because Kyler Murray is only a half a season guy.
God. That's another quarterback that's another quarterback that it's time. He's another one where I feel like it's time. It's time for him to step up or put up or shut up. Like, I'm actually surprised they've actually stuck with him this long. But it's time.
This season, if Arizona doesn't look like put it this way, if Arizona doesn't make the playoffs this season,
blow it up.
I think it's going to get blown up.
Yeah, blow it up. Yeah, you got to blow it up. I mean, you got to trade. Yeah, Kyler's got to go. I think Gannon's probably going to go.
Yeah.
That's why I'm surprised Gannon has like really pretty much stuck.
Well, listen, career. They went all defense this year in the draft.
They did.
They went all defense.
They were all
so
defense. Yeah.
Obviously they have confidence in their offense.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think it's a little misplaced confidence. But if you look at what Nabers was able to do last year, and you look at Harrison Jr., and Harrison Jr. didn't have a bad season.
Yeah, but yeah.
But Malik Nabers looks like
he looks good.
He looks like the best receiver in this draft class.
Yeah, he does. Right now, he does. There's no question about it. And he did have the lesser quarterback play all year last year, year. And I think he's going to have it again this year. But I think this is going to be Marvin Harrison's breakout year. I think he's going to have a good sophomore year. I do. We'll see. All right, next one. Here's a good one. Shadeur Sanders starts more games this year than Jackson Dart.
I want to say yes. He should.
Yeah.
If the Giants want to spare Jackson Dart's and extend his life as an NFL quarterback, you don't play him this year. That's why you've got the quarterbacks that you got in the offseason. So I'm going to say yes, Shadeur Sanders starts more games than Jackson Dart. Because if Jackson Dart starts more games than Shadeur Sanders this year, it also probably signifies the end of the Giants, Joe Shane and Brian Dable era.
Well, see, and this is why I don't know. It's interesting that they went quarterback because I feel like those guys are on the hot seat. And honestly, if it were me, if I drafted a quarterback in the first round, he's playing. I don't give a damn. We gotta know. I gotta know if this guy is worth my time because the next guy that comes in, he may just get rid of him and it's a waste of a pick. Like
I think the Giants organization wanted Jackson Dart and I think Shane was like, I'm on board too. But I think this is an overcompensation pick. This is a team that they blew it with Daniel Jones, and now they're overcompensating by trying to say, okay, we made a mistake. Let's get this guy. I think the Giants still feel that they have a good team. They have a playoff potential team. And by bringing Russell Wilson in and Jameis Winston, they could potentially still be a solid team. I think the reach for Jackson Dart is the thought process that this team is going to have a winning record next year and be a playoff contender, and Jackson Dart is going to be able to sit, and then be able to play the next season. Again, no knowledge, no information on that other than this is just speculating, looking at what I'm seeing that the Giants, what would make sense to me anyway. Because if the Giants have to play Jackson Dart because this team sucks, like I think they're going to, then Dable and Shane are out of a job. You don't bring Russell Wilson in if you don't think you can't win, and then trade up on top of that, trade back into the first round to get a quarterback. Because if you're going to shit the bed anyway, like you did this past season, you're going to be in the running for a quarterback with a much better quarterback draft class. So why even reach for Jackson Dart?
I think Jackson Dart will play more games than Shadeur Sanders. I think Shadeur Sanders is so I have so many thoughts in my head. I think he's going to play more games. I think Jackson Dart will play more games because I think they're going to want to see what they have. I think the leashes are so short for Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston because we've seen them before. I don't even know if Jameis Winston is going to make the team. I don't even know if he makes the team. I don't know. We've seen these guys. We saw Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh where he hit a wall, even though it was a very tough schedule. He literally hit a wall. And then we saw Jameis Winston in Cleveland last year where he didn't do much of anything. So I think here's my thing. Here's what I think could happen. I think Russell Wilson gets the start. They go 0-2. He's sitting out. They start Jameis Winston. Let's say they go 1-3. That puts them at 1-4? Something like that. 1-5.
1-5.
You play Jackson Dart. You play him the rest of the year and see if they can win maybe the last, 6 out of however many games. If Jackson Dart gets in and if they start 1-5 and finish, say, 7-10, right? They go 6-5 with him there, job saved. Job is saved.
Yeah, they're both getting fired. They'll be picking in the top 5 if that happens. I'm sorry, Giants fans, apologize, but
I do think Jackson Dart. I do think Jackson Dart will play more games. I think the Browns are going to start. I think they're going to start Flacco, maybe even Kenny Pickett. Dylan Gabriel will be third string, and I don't know what's going to happen to Shadeur Sanders. I have no idea, no clue. It's so crazy. I don't know.
I don't think Dylan Gabriel makes the team. I think he's on the practice squad.
But see, you know what? I agree with you, but I think they're going to try to save face because Why would you draft a guy in the third round?
Because if they're going to try to save face, then that means Kenny Pickett is going to be looking for a job. They'll cut Pickett.
I think they will
cut Pickett.
Oh, yeah, they will cut Pickett. Yeah, I agree. They will cut Pickett. They're going to keep Shadeur and Dylan Gabriel. I don't think either one of those guys get cut. They're going to keep them both, right? They're
so if Flacco's starting, Pickett's done.
Yeah, 100%. Flacco or Pickett will be either traded or he's going to get cut.
Who the fuck is going to trade for him?
I don't fucking know. Let's go to the next one. More likely to happen. Steelers / Tomlin continue their consecutive winning season, or we just talked about this team. Panthers make the postseason.
I didn't think I would say this, but I think the Panthers making the postseason is more likely to happen.
Yeah, I do too.
I think the Steelers fucked up. This is the worst offseason I've seen the Steelers have in years.
Us looking for quarterbacks isn't a new phenomenon.
But the way they did it.
But the way we did it is bad. I agree. The way we did it is not good. It hasn't been good. I think we first of all, I picked the Panthers are more likely to make the postseason because they play in a shitty division and we play in a tough division and we have no quarterback. So that's one. And then also, I think we really put all our chips in on Trevor Lawrence. And the Jaguars said no. Jaguars say go F off. No. We want to keep our guy. And I don't think we gave enough. I think we should have gave a little more if we were that desperate for a quarterback. But I think we really put our eggs in that basket and it screwed us over. And that's what I think is happening now. I really do. But yeah, I think we have our first losing season in the Mike Tomlin era. And I think people forget, and this is what's kind of like saving my sanity, right? Because I think we're gonna be in a world of trouble this year. People forget that we drafted Ben Roethlisberger in the top 10 or top 11. Yeah. He was not. I think there was a little bit of a misconception that Ben was drafted like in the third or fourth round. We randomly found him. I think people forget he was a damn near top 10 pick. So. And then Mike Tomlin got him in second year and groomed him to be a Hall of Fame quarterback. So, we have to get back there. We really do. We have to get back to that top 10. And I really think that's where we're going. Prediction wise, I think Will Howard starts more than half the games. I think he sucks. I think he tries his best. He'll make plays. I think he's going to be a fan favorite because he's a blue collar guy. He's a big dude, but I don't think he's going to be very good. And then we pick fuck. I swear to God, if we go 9-8, I'm gonna be pissed off. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be so pissed off. If Will Howard somehow becomes like this average 15 to 20 quarterback in the league, and he's making these plays, and we go 9-8, and we slip in the playoffs only to get destroyed by Kansas City, no. It makes me even say that just actually, you know what? Just start Skylar Thompson. Don't start Mason Rudolph. And I just felt I have this weird feeling that Will Howard is going to be he's going to be decent. And I'm going to be forced to cheer. Oh man, I just have this weird feeling he's going to be decent.
I'm sorry because I remember you bombing me for having him as one of my top 5 quarterbacks coming out of this draft. If he actually lives up to it, I'm gonna be like, wow, that's pretty good.
If he goes 9-8, I do think we're gonna win. I do think he's gonna play more than half. You have to see what you have in him. You have to. I don't believe Aaron Rodgers is coming. I know there's a lot of speculation. I don't believe he's playing. I really don't. But even if he plays, oh my God, yeah, I don't know. This is a bad offseason. You're right. All right, moving forward. Last one, a little basketball. Tyrese Halliburton is a superstar in the NBA.
Who? That's fucked up. I shouldn't say. He's a damn good player.
Yeah.
And I I think he's coming into his own, but is he a superstar? No. Who the fuck thought Indiana and the Knicks would be playing in the Eastern Conference Finals right now? I want to know what degenerate gambler put bets on Indiana and the Knicks being in the Eastern Conference Finals. Look, you said it before the show started. Prisoner of the moments, and that's what we are. He's a very good player. Does he have superstar potential? I think he was drafted with the idea that this guy was going to have superstar potential.
Yeah.
So it's just some of these guys, it takes a little while for them to develop and get their footing underneath them. But he's not an NBA superstar right now at the moment. He's what, the fourth best guard in these championships playoffs right now. So I'm not buying he's a superstar yet. He has the potential to be there, but he's not that guy yet.
No. Yeah, no, I agree. I think he has the potential. He's got to get there. It's only his fourth year. I think he got hurt last year, I believe. He missed some games. Mm-hmm. Look at his numbers right here. He missed last year. He was hurt. Yeah, he missed quite a few games last year as well. Yeah, he's a three-time All-Star. I believe he was just named NBA third team for the second time. So he was finished third in Rookie of the Year. He's definitely not a superstar just yet. He's had some superstar moments in these playoffs, but for him, look, for us to say that he's a superstar right now, no, he hasn't done enough in the league, in my opinion, to be a superstar. He's a star, budding superstar, but I just feel like we have to be patient. We got to let it play out, right? One of my friends, I was talking to one of my friends today about this, and he was saying, well, do you think, and I was saying that I feel like championships make superstars, right? You having these big playoff runs and capping off with a championship, maybe a finals MVP, that makes superstars. And he said to me, well, do you think that James Harden is a superstar, even though he hasn't won a ring? And I said, yes, he is, because James Harden has been doing it for 15 years. He's been consistent, particularly in Houston, right? So that's he's never been to a finals. He hasn't won a chip, but James Harden's one of the greatest scorers of all time. He's got one MVP. He's averaged 1 year. He averaged 36 a game. It doesn't matter what your feelings are on James Harden. He's still a superstar in this league based on what he has done over his 15-year career. Tyrese Halliburton's only been in the league, I believe, like 6 years, right? He's really starting to come into. He really started to kind of come into his own about 3 years ago, right, when he made his first All-Star game. So I'm not going to sit here and call him a superstar just yet. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Look, are we saying Jamal Murray's a superstar?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think Murray currently is better than Halliburton. So yeah.
Okay.
I take so if we're not saying that, I think De'Aaron Fox, Trae Young, Halliburton is in that area. None of those guys, they're very good players, but I don't think any of those guys are superstars.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, they're not. That's the point. Yeah, I think Halliburton's in that same tier as them, but I think Halliburton's probably above them all. But I think Halliburton's ready to take that next step to that potentially superstar tier. Now, I get what you're saying. I understand what you mean. Like Jamal Murray is a hell of a player. When he's healthy, of course. He's not a very healthy player. He's always kind of banged up. But no, I agree with that. Now, Jamal Murray's never made an All-Star game, which is shocking to me. He's never made an All-Star game. It's probably because he's always banged up. But no, I agree. I do agree with that. But I would take Halliburton over the guys you mentioned. But I do agree that he had it's time. There's just time. He's got to just wait. Now, if he wins a chip this year, if they make it through, they win tonight, or they win, they beat the Knicks in however many games in the Eastern Conference Finals, he gets that stupid award, the Eastern Conference Final MVP. But I think it's just it's just a stupid award. But if he gets that, and then he goes to the finals, and they beat OKC in the finals, he beats the MVP head to head, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I think you can have the conversation with superstar at that point. You could probably have that's a lot to go through. That's a lot to beat. So I'm not. No, he's had a great playoff run. It's been fun to watch. These players have been great, but I'm not ready to call him a superstar. Not at all. I agree with you. Well, that's gonna do it for us, friends. That's gonna do it for us tonight. We really, really appreciate everybody who watched on all platforms. I believe we got up to 22 views, which is great. Really, really appreciate you guys watching on YouTube, 3-Man Front or 3-Man Weave, excuse me. Game Winning Drive, Sports Speak, all the channels that I share this on. I really appreciate it. Those of you who watch on BZ Sports, appreciate that. And 4QQ, of course. Appreciate you guys all watching. Be ready for us. We got a lot of going on. We got a lot of shows this week. Oh, not this week, sorry. This summer, going over our divisions, going over MVP races or MVP predictions. And obviously awesome breaking news. Obviously, it's going to be dropping as well in the NFL and the NBA. We're going to cover all that for you over this summer. So we really appreciate you guys being with us. We're back again, hopefully next week. And Fogg, any last words?
None at all. I'm just hoping that OKC wins it all.
Okay. OKC. I'm rooting for the Knicks. I got a lot of Knicks friends, so I'm rooting for the Knicks. But right now, it doesn't look like it because they're down, I believe, by 5. So, but yeah,
it would be so sweet to see OKC win it all and sit back and go. At one point in time, they had Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook,
crazy. That is 3 MVPs.
Yep.
No, 4 MVPs. 4 MVPs at one point OKC had, and this guy could be able to do it. If all 3 of those guys played on the same team, yeah, that would be incredible. That would be incredible to say for Shai to bring them their first championship and not KD, Westbrook, and Harden.
And it just goes to show you too the parity. The belief that all these super teams are taking over.
Parity's back.
7 different NBA champions in 7 years?
7 different NBA champions. Also, I believe, no, I don't think we have 7 different MVPs, but they've all been international the last 7 years, which is incredible. So yeah, 7 no repeat champions since I believe the Warriors, 2017, 2018. Wow, no repeat champions. Yeah, Parity is back in the NBA, and I'll be honest with you, we won't get into this. I don't know how I feel about this. I love dynasties. That's just me. I love dominant teams. I love villains. I love the Warriors dynasties. I love the Laker dynasty. I love this stuff. I love that. I think the game is better when that's happening. But I am enjoying the parity in this. But I'm saying right now, I'll be real with you. The last NBA Finals the league wants to see is OKC in Indiana. I don't care what anybody says. That's the last thing they want to see. They don't want to see that, but we might be getting that because Indiana is playing well right now. So get good luck with those ratings, NBA.
Yeah.
Good luck with that one. But that's gonna do it for us, man. We're signing off. Be easy sports, be easy. Objectively biased sports, the Fog, and we'll see you guys next time.